Many mysteries swirl around today's echoes of Columbo, like champagne swirling down a sink. Mysteries like, what's up with this guy? Why is this guy here? Who is this supposed to be? And what's Columbo doing here? We'll answer all these questions and more as we get closer and closer to 1991's Columbo and the Murder of a Rock Star. What a fun one this is. What a hilarious one. What a solid, traditional Columbo.
I hear you.
The series is about to begin a precipitous drop in quality, so this is truly one to treasure. The lieutenant is eccentric but serious, the confrontations are excellent, the subplots are mostly tolerable, and the murderer is a legitimate movie star. Special guest star Dabney Coleman, who passed away on May 16th, 2024, is one of two reasons you'll remember this one. He was no stranger to Columbo, having played the gum-chewing Detective Murray in Season 2's finale, Double Shock.
Well, anyway, come on. Way to go through the motions, huh?
His turn here as a killer is a late series gem.
Now, what's this all about, Columbus?
Look at the way he punches up some of these jejune lines he's given with the sheer brilliance of his delivery.
That's a little tough to take, okay? That's a little tough to take. I don't want to hear it.
Well, let's just drop it.
Why don't we do that?
Plus, he wears a slick dewlap. Hugh Crichton is nasty and unlikable, but Coleman makes him so blatant.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lieutenant. Why don't you take your corks and get the hell out of here?
Ooh. So insincere that he becomes a delight to watch. Crichton is a standout murderer. No offense to the likes of Andrew Stevens or James Reed, but a star like Coleman knew how to elevate the less than stellar material around him, packing so much character into the briefest lines.
Are you with me, sir?
I think so.
Columbo often lives and dies on the strength of its guest star, and once again it was blessed with a great one. By the way, 1991 gave us George Hamilton in Caution, Murder Can Be Hazardous to Your Health, Dabney Coleman here, and Rip Torn in Death Hits the Jackpot. What a year that was to be a fan. The other reason you'll remember Rockstar is the traffic ticket alibi clue, which Columbo spends a not entirely necessary amount of time investigating at the DMV and the camera company, and then spends most of the climactic scene revealing, only to have it dismissed with a single line.
Well, that's all very interesting, but you still haven't placed me at the beach house.
Wait, what? I always assumed that this was the final clue, but the actual gotcha is maybe 4 or 5 clues. Crichton left glove marks on Marcy's throat, which match glove marks on the seat adjustment lever of the gardener's truck that Crichton stole and returned, but inexplicably parked 2 blocks away, which just so happened to be the only place that has these berries, and they find matching berries on his accomplice's car, and since the accomplice was driving Crichton's car, Crichton must have been driving her car, therefore he did it.
I know he killed that girl.
Sheesh. If this seems a tad slapdash, a tad rushed, hey, welcome to Columbo and the Murder of a Rock Star, baby. It's all over the place, like the sequence where Columbo is hunting down the guy Crichton framed for the crime. The guy escapes by hurling himself through a window, a moment I'd rank just a fraction below the guy jumping through a window in No Time to Die. What do you think is the best Columbo guy jumps through window moment? Let me know in the comments below. Then Columbo goes to this bar and talks to a woman in a mermaid outfit, and the two are projected onto a screen in a fish tank. So we get a drunk guy can't believe his eyes bit like a Roger Moore Bond movie. But all the woman tells him is go to this other place, and at the other place, this is happening. Stab my ears with a red-hot poker, that's awful. Look at Columbo dancing. Oh no, it's worse than when he dances in No Time to Die. Hey, wait. Yep, both episodes are directed by the atrociously untalented Alan J. Levi. More on that in a moment. Here we have Little Richard flexing his acting chops by playing a character named Little Richard. He's perhaps the most distractingly awful cameo in all of Columbo. It strains Rockstar's already paper-thin believability. There's an air of unreality about the whole story that encourages us to laugh rather than form a genuine emotional investment. And that's ultimately what settles this one firmly in the middle tier of episodes. Do we believe Columbo could pass as a hoodlum working for a gangster named Johnny Fewhairs?
Johnny few hairs is looking for him.
Do we believe Hugh Crichton is an unbeatable lawyer because he feigns a coughing fit in court? Do we believe that this bizarre 1940s private eye character named Sam Marlowe is a real person? Of course not, and we're not really expected to. Writer William Reed Woodfield throws everything into this script. It's his third and final effort. He previously wrote Columbo Goes to the Guillotine and Columbo Cries Wolf, and he provides a cast full of stuffy waiters, comic relief foreigners, and obsequious interior decorators.
Guy was an interior decorator.
He gives us a cleaning lady for Columbo to annoy, and this one is a real Venator-class Star Destroyer.
Man, I'm glad I ain't married to you.
We've got Crichton terrifying Columbo in his car.
What's the car?
And then Columbo terrifies this nerd in his car.
Just slow it down.
There's a particularly nice moment with series regular John Finnegan, who plays crusty old Chief Quentin Corbett. After a little ball breaking on Columbo, he recommends a restaurant's New York steak.
New York's an inch and a half thick. New York steaks? New York's. Well, that sounds good.
It's a scene that rings true. You get the sense that these are fellow East Coast transplants reminiscing fondly of home. We are also peppered with odd insider references, like this guy, credited only as Stetson Hat, and introduced by Crichton as
My colleague from Idaho here.
from Idaho. This always struck me as odd. Why that specificity? Why all the Western accessories? We believe this character is a reference to famed Wyoming lawyer and defense attorney Jerry Spence, frequently photographed in Western garb and who, like Hugh Crichton, never lost a criminal case before a jury.
Oh, now we're getting ridiculous, aren't we?
That begs the question, if this guy has the Western motif, why is Crichton's office the one filled with all the cowboy statues? How about the NFI hat that Columbo inexplicably wears for this scene? I found anecdotes about what it means and where it came from, but you don't come to Echoes of Columbo for that schoolyard trivia. No, baby, we dig deeper. What interests us is that you can see Columbo's breath and his coat is buttoned up. It's cold out, yet Marcy and her lover are frolicking in the waves just a few days before. When is this taking place? According to the gardener's calendar, the murder date is September 25th. The date of Yom Kippur is correct for 1991, and the temperatures in Los Angeles on that date were warm enough for swimming. But according to the critical traffic ticket photo, the murder takes place on March 11th, a high of 58 degrees. Not exactly swimming weather, but cold enough to explain the fur-lined coats the cops are wearing. So, do dates matter in Columbo? Not at all. This can be any day, any year.
Wednesday between 3 and 4.
What a timeless masterpiece.
That's correct, sir.
What about the rest of the creative team? You'll note that the visual style of the episode is where it falls flat. Remember when Columbo is talking to the lab guy and Now You See Him, and the scene is shot from behind a rack of bubbling test tubes? It didn't have to be shot that way, but director Harvey Hart makes the scene instantly more interesting because of that framing. Here, Columbo and Crichton talk in this bland, featureless room, or here they sit at a table. When an episode has almost zero visual interest, you can pretty much bet it was directed by Alan J. Levi. Even when he's handed an absolute gift, like this scene atop the unfinished high-rise, Levi bungles it because we never for a second believe that they're actually up there. This is a soundstage with a fake background. In my mind's eye, this scene where Crichton almost knocks Marcy over the edge was shot from below, so we really get an idea of her peril. But Levi shoots it like they bumped each other in a hallway. It infuriates me. This episode needed just a little vision and imagination to elevate it, and the director was like, you stand here, go. And by the way, Sandra Curry, who is excellent here as Sergeant Hayback, is also the wife of episode director and supervising producer Alan J. Levi.
That's what got me the part.
Our music is by Steve Dorff, a familiar name to fans of the channel, as he composed the score for the very next episode, Death Hits the Jackpot. As we noted in that review, Dorff's tense, suspenseful music is solid. Here, it adds a distinctive flavor to the score, playing off the tune of Marcy's signature song, Closer. But as in Jackpot, Dorff has a tendency to use these dreadful, cutesy sitcom-style tunes. It's bad, but it's probably what the director and producers wanted for those scenes. So, do you think they got what they wanted? Overall, what's the legacy of Columbo and the Murder of a Rock Star? Again, it bears comparison to Death Hits the Jackpot. Decent episodes with amazing guest stars and distinct comical overtones. They both have their less than stellar moments, but both deliver exactly what we want from the show. Rockstar never holds back, committing to its most ridiculous elements with an enthusiasm that commands our respect. So lean back, pop a disulfirin or two,
I happen to take a little disulfirin.
and enjoy one of the last pure traditional Columbos.
And some kind of a salad,
Carl, why don't you bring him a Caesar? You like Caesar salad?
Caesar salad.